President Donald Trump was so psyched after last week's address to the joint session of Congress. He got really good reviews on television, and apparently he watches 6 hours of television a day. He's the president, oh my God. Anyway, so he's like, yay, they like me, they really like me. And then oops, on Wednesday, the Jeff Sessions story comes out about how he had Russian contacts and he had lied about it. And things go poorly. And then Trump does a self-inflicted wound when he starts talking about how Obama wiretapped him and no one believes him, and he gets more and more mad. This story is from many different sources. I'm gonna quote you CNN and Washington Post here. Washington Post talked to not only former officials and former advisors, they talked to 17 people in the White House right now. It's amazing. So really well sourced. And it turns out Donnie's really, really mad. It didn't work out like he wanted to. Oh, you're gonna love this story. President Donald Trump is extremely frustrated with his senior staff, according to CNN, and communications team for allowing the firestorm surrounding Attorney General Jeff Sessions to steal his thunder in the wake of his address to Congress, sources tell CNN. Okay, see, this is what that's about. You're stealing my thunder, you ruined it. Okay, White House source says, quote, nobody has seen him that upset. Washington Post now says Trump was mad, steaming, raging mad. I will add, like a child. Okay, a lot more where that came from in a second. Washington Post explains, the next morning, and this is in relationship to the Jeff Sessions news, so it comes out on Wednesday. The next morning, Trump exploded, according to White House officials. He headed to Newport News, Virginia on Thursday for a splashy commander-in-chief moment. The president would trumpet his plan to grow military spending abroad, the Navy's sophisticated new aircraft carrier. But as Trump, supporting a bomber jacket and a Navy cap, rallied sailors and shipbuilders, his message was overshadowed by Sessions. Ooh, there's two things that the child does not like there. One, I got all dressed up and I was in my best outfit and I would look like a cool bomber or something. And then I was overshadowed. Not fair, mommy, not fair. God help us all. Okay, when the president returned to the White House Thursday evening from a day trip to Virginia, there were a lot of expletives. So, I don't know if you saw that clip, but he's going around the Navy ship, they're asking him about it, and he says, oh, Sessions, he's fine, he's fine. If he says so, then he didn't talk to the Russians, that he doesn't have to step aside, right? A couple of hours later, Sessions actually recused himself. And apparently he was super mad too, because he thought Sessions could have written it out. And as usual with the Trump White House, total bungling, miscommunication. So the president defends him and then he goes out and basically contradicts the president by recusing himself. So another reason why Donnie was quite upset. Now back to CNN. The source said for more than a week, Trump had been lamenting that his senior staff just keep getting in their own way. I wonder whose fault that is, Donnie. I thought you were a brilliant manager. I thought you knew how to make deals and you knew how to manage buildings and giant enterprises. Seems like you can't manage your way out of a paper bag. What did I tell you guys? The number one thing about Donald Trump is gross incompetence. And what kind of a manager goes around going like, oh my God, I didn't plan anything and neither did you guys. Why didn't you plan it? No. You're in charge, dude. I don't know if you get it yet. You're the president of the United States. It's your job to manage them. And just throwing a temper tantrum after everything's already been bungled is not proper management. He's only run a family business before. He just got daddy's money and largely ran it into the ground. He has no idea how to manage a business. That's why he went bankrupt 6 times, let alone a very complex bureaucracy like the United States government. Okay, now we go back to the Washington Post and the description of what happened on Friday. Back at the White House on Friday morning, Trump summoned his senior aides into the Oval Office, where he simmered with rage. According to several White House officials, he upbraided them over Sessions' decision to recuse himself, believing that Sessions had succumbed to the pressure from the media and other critics instead of fighting with the full defense of the White House. In a huff, I love this, Trump departed for Mar-a-Lago, taking with him from his inner circle only his daughter and Kushner, his son-in-law, who's a White House senior advisor. His top two aides, Chief of Staff Reince Priebus and Bannon, stayed behind in Washington. Another classic move of a child. But then I'm taking my ball and going home. I'm gonna go to Mar-a-Lago and play golf. And you're not coming with me, Reince. I'm mad at you. Reince Priebus said, yeah, I was planning to go, and there was an RNC fundraiser that I obviously had a role in organizing, but a family situation came. No, he's mad at you, dude. We all know. Just calm down. Okay, don't bother lying. Steve Bannon also left behind originally, but then apparently Bannon being Bannon found a way to get down to Florida again anyway, because that's where all the decisions are being made. But we do have footage, and I'm not sure that I'm comfortable that they got this footage, but credit to CNN for getting it, I guess. And I want to show you what people are talking about is a tirade inside the White House. Well, that's okay, that's animated, you could tell there. You can't see Trump, you can see Bannon there. By the way, if I'm the Secret Service, I also don't like this footage. Ivanka Trump is there, Jared Kushner is there, Reince Priebus is there, and they're clearly having an animated conversation, but we don't know if Bannon is yelling at Trump. I think that takes it too far. Nobody knows, of course, what was actually said in that room, although, like I told you, there's 17 people inside the White House who have leaked what happened inside the room, but that's some footage for you guys. Not clear if Bannon was yelling at Trump, but yelling nonetheless. So you see there's clearly discord there and clearly a mess. They're not winning over there, it's a mess. Back to the Washington Post, they say the administration finds itself beset yet again by disorder and suspicion. I told you, can't manage a damn thing. All right, back to CNN. Aides have been seen in tears in recent days at multiple meetings because the boss is mad and yelling at them. Well, they seem like special snowflakes. Man up, you're at the White House now. Okay, Washington Post. White House legislative staffers concluded late last week that the administration was spinning in circles on the healthcare plan amid mounting criticism from conservatives that the administration was fumbling. Won't be the first, won't be the last, because that's what they are. They're fumblers, they're bumblers. So they didn't know that you had to get, in their words, get rid of the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, before you could do the tax cuts. Now Trump realized it, he talked about it last week. He's like, it turns out healthcare is complicated. I wish somebody had told me, we gotta figure out what the hell's going on. And then I could do the rest of my agenda. But he keeps saying that they have a great secret plan. But of course they don't. Of course they don't. So Congress is not coming back to them. They're like, look, man, we're Republicans. We didn't actually plan on replacing it. We just wanted to shred it so that our donors could be back in charge. We don't have a replacement. Trump, you said you had a secret plan. What's your secret plan? Oh, fumbling, bumbling. Oh. All right. Then he does a self-inflicted wound in the middle of the night, where he tweets out late Friday night, early Saturday morning, that President Obama has wiretapped him, he found out. Okay, first of all, you're the president. If you think the former president wiretapped you, why don't you ask the FBI and the Justice Department and your intelligence agencies? You have them all at your disposal. You're the president. Instead of reading a story from Breitbart and InfoWars, which is apparently what happened, in the middle of the night, and going, oh my God, Alex Jones says I was wiretapped. You're the president. You could find that out. Ask somebody. So nonetheless, he's mad that people won't back him because he has no evidence. He runs into one of his best buddies, Christopher Ruddy, Newsmax CEO, on the golf course. And I forget who said this, but somebody online was saying, look, here's a 70-year-old man who watches 6 hours of television, spends most of his time in Florida golfing. That's a retiree, not a president. Okay, so he runs into Ruddy on the golf course because he's got nothing better to do. That's your problem, manage the White House. Anyway, Ruddy says he was pissed. I haven't seen him this angry. And he apparently told Ruddy about the so-called wiretapping. This will be investigated. It will all come out. I will be proven right. But my God, man, why didn't you investigate it before you blurted it out on Twitter? He doesn't get it. He doesn't get that he's in charge. And that comes with a heavy, heavy responsibility. And it's not somebody else's fault. It's not somebody else's responsibility. As much as I dislike Bannon, Priebus, and all those guys, the buck doesn't stop there. Donnie, it stops with you. And the buck is not some sort of thing you play with. And if you get upset, you go, I'm taking the buck and I'm going to Florida. And I'm going to play with my buddy Ruddy and I'm going to golf. Okay. So nonetheless, they're down in Florida. And his advisors are going to try to make him happy. Because again, the child's tantrum is hurting everybody. So they're going to try to calm him down. Listen to how they do it. That night at Mar-a-Lago, Trump had dinner with Sessions, Bannon, Homeland Security Secretary John F. Kelly, and White House Senior Policy Advisor Stephen Miller, among others. They tried to put Trump in a better mood by going over their implementation plans for the travel ban, according to a White House official. That's another sentence I love. Okay, Donnie, now look, we got a great new toy for you. It's another Muslim ban. And apparently it worked. And he was like, oh, okay, all right, good, I like this toy. Oh, I don't like the Muslims. We got to ban them until we figure out what the hell is going on. Who do you think should do that, Donald? Okay, so Washington Post explains, Trump was brighter Sunday morning as he read several newspapers, pleased that his allegations against Obama were the dominant story, the official said. And then he, of course, turns on television. And after watching the Kardashians for a while, no, I don't know if he did, but he probably did. Then he found reason to be mad again. Few Republicans were defending him on the Sunday political talk shows. And Donnie went back to being really, really upset. This child is the president of the United States. This child, unfortunately, is the most powerful man on earth. And this child has no idea that he actually shoulders that responsibility now. Donnie, your daddy isn't here to rescue you anymore. You have to make these decisions. You have to work hard to manage your staff so that you guys can manage the country. So no matter how angry you get and how many temper tantrums you throw, it doesn't change that fact. You've got to actually grow up, be an adult, and manage the country. The reality is, I know, and actually you know, that you're not capable of it. So you're not going to last that long. Because there's only so long we could have a child as the most powerful person on earth before things go horribly, horribly wrong. We're not that far from it already.
Animals are innocent.
TYTnetwork.com/join.